What if I told you that the most dangerous person in any room is the one who says nothing, the one who observes, the one who doesn't flinch, doesn't react, doesn't need to prove anything? That person doesn't dominate with force. They dominate with silence, with control, with terrifying stillness. You see, we live in a world where people wear their emotions like badges. One insult and they explode. One failure and they collapse. One rejection and they chase validation like addicts. Weak minds scream. Strong minds remain still. And stillness, it's terrifying, because people fear what they can't predict, what they can't shake, what they can't manipulate. Now ask yourself this: are you the kind of person who's easily disturbed, or are you becoming the kind of presence that unsettles the insecure simply because you don't play their emotional games? If you want a mind so sharp it cuts through chaos, so disciplined that it breaks manipulation, and so calm that it disturbs those who thrive on drama, then you need two things: Stoic philosophy and dark psychological truths. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But let me take that further. When you master your mind, others will see you as untouchable, and the untouchable are always feared. This video isn't about fake confidence. It's not about being liked. It's about being respected, unshaken, dangerous. Today on Stoic Wind, I'm going to show you how to build that kind of mind, the kind of mind that doesn't shout to be heard. It whispers, and people listen. The kind of mind because it cannot be broken. They want you to react. That's the game. Insult you, so you lash out. Betray you, so you spiral. Ignore you, so you beg for attention. Because the moment you react emotionally, they own you. But a stoic mind? It doesn't flinch. It absorbs the chaos, processes it, and responds with purpose. Or not at all. Emotional apathy isn't numbness, it's control. It's the ability to witness your emotions without becoming enslaved by them. People think it's natural to be angry, jealous, or offended, and it is. But nature is also wild, destructive, and weak without discipline. The strong man, the terrifying man, feels it all and still chooses not to be moved. Seneca said, "He who angers you conquers you." Let that sink in. Every time you explode, complain, or defend yourself when it's not necessary, you hand your power away like candy. And when the world sees they can get a rise out of you, you become predictable. But when you walk through fire with a cold face, when you're surrounded by noise and say nothing, when you're insulted and smiled, not out of weakness, but because you've already mastered the battlefield within, that's when people realize they can't control you, and that terrifies them. If you're serious about mastering yourself, hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Wind, and turn on notifications. We're building minds that don't flinch. Below, my mind is my fortress. Let everyone know that you're done being emotionally conquered. Most people walk into a room trying to be seen. They talk too much. They move too fast. They laugh too loudly. Why? Because deep down, they are terrified of being invisible. But here's the truth. Power doesn't seek attention. Power draws attention. It commands it through presence, not noise. Your presence is your energy, your posture, your silence, your gaze, your stillness. Not your outfit, not your status, not how many people you know. Controlled presence is when you walk into a room and people instinctively shift, not because you did something, but because you didn't need to. It's psychological warfare. Quiet, lethal, and unshakable. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, the most powerful man on earth. Yet he constantly reminded himself to walk with humility and intention. He didn't need to prove he was emperor. He was the emperor, and that made his silence louder than others' speeches. In dark psychology, this is known as command presence, the ability to dominate a space with minimal movement. Criminal profilers, intelligence agents, and negotiators are trained in this because people respond more to calm, grounded energy than to chaos and noise. Why? Because calm means control, and control means danger. When someone is completely in control of themselves, their emotions, their body, their reactions, the world has no leverage over them, and people feel that. They feel that they can't manipulate you, that they can't make you chase, that they can't use your insecurity against you. Think about it. The person who waits before speaking, who listens more than they talk, who responds slowly, deliberately, that person unnerves people, because silence creates space, and in that space others start to hear their own noise, their own insecurity, their own weakness. That's why the world fears the man with a quiet, intense presence, because his existence exposes their chaos. You want a presence that feels like a locked vault, unreadable, mysterious, calm but not soft, still but not submissive. That's the Stoic ideal. Don't speak unless it improves the silence. Don't move unless it has purpose. Don't react unless it's strategic. How do you build it? Start with stillness. Practice being physically still for long periods, in conversations, in meetings, during conflict. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Work on eye contact, not aggressive, not blank, but steady. Practice pausing before you speak. Let silence hang. Make people work to interpret you. That's power. And remember, when you no longer need to be understood, you become intimidating. If this is speaking to your soul right now, hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic Wind, and turn on the bell. We're building an army of quiet, unshakable warriors here. And let below, my presence is my weapon. Let them know the silence is intentional, and it's lethal. Power isn't just about what you say. Often, it's about what you don't say, what you choose to withhold. Because when everyone else is trying to overshare, over-explain, and overexpose, the man who withholds becomes a mystery, and mystery is power. The more people know about you, the easier it is to control you. Your triggers, your insecurities, your desires, your weaknesses. They'll use your openness to build the perfect psychological weapon against you. But when you master the art of withholding, you deny them access. You become unreadable, and what people can't read, they fear. Epictetus, the Stoic slave turned philosopher, said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But most people do the opposite. They talk without thinking, react without pausing, and overshare without realizing the cost. Withholding doesn't mean being cold or secretive. It means being selective, strategic, intentional. You speak when there is value in speaking, not when your emotions beg for release. You share only what serves your purpose, never what feeds someone else's curiosity or control. In dark psychology, this is used by manipulators. They hold back information to gain leverage. But in Stoicism, we reverse that power. We withhold not to deceive, but to remain sovereign over ourselves, to maintain the advantage of unpredictability, because once people know how you'll react, they'll engineer the environment to make you dance. Not to terrify someone who thrives on control. Stop giving them feedback. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Let them question why you didn't react the way they expected. Let them sit in the silence they created. This drives manipulators mad. It breaks their rhythm. The next time someone tries to provoke you, pause. Hold your thoughts. Let the silence stretch. then speak only what's necessary, or nothing at all. That moment of control, that's where you win, not with words, with stillness. If you're building this kind of mental edge, hit like, subscribe to Stoic Wind, and make sure that notification bell is on, and comment below, "I speak with purpose, not impulse." Let the world know you're done being predictable. Most people flee from discomfort like it's a curse. But the Stoic runs toward it, embraces it, masters it, because discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the forge, and your mind is the sword being shaped inside. If you want a mind so strong it terrifies people, you must become intimate with discomfort, not occasionally, not when life forces you to, but daily, voluntarily. The modern world has convinced people that comfort is the goal. Soft beds, soft emotions, soft minds. And what has that created? Weak men, fragile identities, easily manipulated minds. Marcus Aurelius led armies in the bitter cold. Epictetus was a crippled slave. Seneca faced exile and disgrace. But not one of them folded. Why? Because they trained their minds to view hardship as a furnace, not a punishment. What breaks the average man builds the Stoic. The man who seeks discomfort sharpens his tolerance for pain. Cold showers, early mornings, physical training, silence, rejection, discipline, all of it teaches the mind a single truth. I am not here to feel good. I am here to become unshakable. Dark psychology shows us how the world exploits emotional weakness. It uses comfort like bait, dopamine loops, addictions, cheap pleasures, all designed to keep you numb, weak, and compliant. But when you detach from comfort, you break the system. You become the outlier, and outliers are dangerous. The mind that can sit in discomfort and remain focused, that's the mind no one can enslave. And when others see you walk through fire without flinching, it terrifies them, because they know, deep down, they couldn't last a second in your world. The next time something feels hard, inconvenient, cold, or painful, it's working. You're not here to escape pain, you're here to dominate it. If this resonates with you, like this video, subscribe to Stoic Wind and turn on notifications. This is not a community of comfort. It's a brotherhood of discipline, dedication, and commitment below. I am sharpened by pain. Let's see who's truly ready to be forged. Weak men over-explain. They feel the need to justify their actions, their silence, their growth, even their existence. Why? Because deep down, they're seeking approval. But a mind forged by Stoicism doesn't ask for permission. It acts, it decides, and it moves forward without needing applause or understanding. There's a silent strength in doing what you know is right and saying nothing about it. In a world addicted to validation, not explaining yourself becomes an act of rebellion. It says, "I owe you nothing," and that makes people deeply uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations for likes. He wrote it as a private exercise to keep his own mind in check. No posturing, no branding, just self-mastery. That's the Stoic way. You live according to your reason, your discipline, and your principles. And if others don't understand you, that's their limitation, not yours. Dark psychology shows us something disturbing. The more you explain yourself, the easier it becomes to control you. You create mental threads people can tug on. You hand them a map of your inner world. And once someone knows your reasons, your why, your insecurities, they can twist them to make you doubt yourself. The Stoic doesn't play that game. He lets the world misjudge him, mislabel him, misunderstand him, and he continues walking forward like a ghost through noise. That kind of indifference, it terrifies manipulators, because when you don't need to be understood, You can't be emotionally controlled. So from now on, stop over-explaining. Don't justify your silence. Don't explain your goals. Don't apologize for your standards. Just act, and let the silence echo with more weight than words ever could. If this hits a nerve, good. That means you're waking up. Like the video, subscribe to Stoic Wind, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next evolution of your mind. Say it below. I move without permission. Say it, and own it. In the modern world, attention is the real currency. Not money, not time. Attention. What you give your eyes to, your ears to, your mind to, that is what owns you. And most people are broke, mentally bankrupt, because they spend their attention on everything worthless. They scroll endlessly. They react to drama. They chase arguments. They gossip. They consume digital poison in the name of entertainment, and they wonder why their minds are anxious, fragile, and exhausted. The truth is brutal. You are what you give your attention to. You feed what you focus on, and the mind fed on trash becomes weak, distracted, and easily broken. But the Stoic understands that attention must be guarded like a fortress. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." That means every thought, every distraction, every piece of content. It's either sharpening your blade or dulling it. Dark psychology understands this well. That's why advertisers, influencers, even manipulators all fight for your attention. Because once they have it, they can implant ideas. They can implant ideas. They can control how you feel without ever touching you. But here's the terrifying truth. The man who controls his attention is untouchable. He watches what he chooses. He listens when he wants. He speaks only with intention. And when someone realizes they don't have your attention, they panic. They try harder. They overexert. Because silence and distance are power. You must become obsessed with protecting your mental energy. That means cutting off the noise. That means disappearing when the world gets loud. That means choosing solitude over distraction, discipline over stimulation. Ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind? If it's no in between. If this message is clearing the fog from your mind, hit the like button, subscribe to Stoic Wind, and turn on notifications. This channel is your mental armory. Dement below. I spend attention like a warrior. Let them know you've stopped being mentally cheap. What you fear is the path. What makes you hesitate, what makes you nervous, what you keep avoiding. That's the very thing that holds your power. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a compass. And if you want a mind that terrifies people, you have to start walking straight into what scares you. The average man runs from fear. He creates a life that avoids it at all costs. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of standing alone. But in doing so, he hands his destiny to fear itself. He becomes a puppet, controlled not by reason, not by vision, but by avoidance. The Stoic flips this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining, but go deeper." He wasn't saying to merely survive fear. He was saying, if you feel fear, test it. If it threatens your ego, challenge it. If it haunts your thoughts, chase it down and stare it in the face. And here's where dark psychology comes in. Manipulators, abusers, toxic leaders, they all thrive by knowing your fears, because what you fear, you serve. If you fear abandonment, they'll threaten to leave. If you fear failure, they'll dangle shame. If you fear misunderstood, they'll twist your words, and you will submit unless you master the very thing they're using. This is why the most terrifying minds are those that embrace fear. They feel it, and then act anyway. They don't wait for courage to come. They act until courage appears. They don't suppress fear, they weaponize it. They let it tell them where to go, what to confront, what to destroy inside themselves. Do what scares you, and do it often. Public speaking, rejection, isolation, high stakes, risk, whatever shakes your core, is your training ground. Avoid it, and you stay weak. Face it, and you evolve. If this lit something inside you, like the video right now, subscribe to Stoic Wind, turn on the bell. We are walking headfirst into the fire. Below I follow fear to freedom. If you feel it, you know it's time. At some point, they're going to call you cold, detached, emotionless. And you know what? Let them. Because the more control you gain over your emotions, the more the world accuses you of being heartless. But that's not a weakness, that's a weapon. You weren't born to be everyone's emotional support system. You weren't built to break yourself so others could stay comfortable. The Stoic mind understands this. Compassion without boundaries leads to burnout. Forgiveness without standards leads to disrespect. And warmth without discernment attracts manipulation. When Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself," he wasn't saying to become soft. He was saying to act with understanding, but never at the cost of your inner fortress. Because the moment your emotions become public property, you lose the war within. Let them think you don't care when you don't react. Let them think you're arrogant when you stay silent. Let them think you're cold when you enforce your standards. Their perception is not your responsibility. Your peace is. Dark psychology reveals a brutal truth. The world exploits emotional openness. People test your empathy to find the edges. They push your kindness to locate your weakness. The man who cannot say no becomes the victim of every demand. But the one who can walk away, who can watch someone cry, scream, guilt trip, and still stay calm, that man terrifies people because they know they have no hold over him. You want to scare the manipulators? Withdraw your need to be liked. Let them feel the absence of your validation. Let them wonder why their drama doesn't move you anymore. That's not being cold. That's being disciplined. The strongest minds aren't loud. They're locked down. They don't react. They don't explain. And they don't seek to be understood by anyone who hasn't earned the right to understand them. If you're starting to embrace that silence, that power, that stillness, like this video right now, subscribe to Stoic Wind and hit the bell. Because the colder you become, the stronger you rise. Let them below. I don't owe them warmth. Let the world feel your shift. There's one kind of man the world can't control. Not the loudest, not the richest, not the strongest, but the one they can't predict. The one who moves with quiet precision, who speaks only when it cuts, who disappears when he's doubted and returns more focused than ever. That man is a storm, but not the kind you see coming. He's the pressure that builds in silence, the cold wind before the collapse, calm on the surface and absolutely relentless underneath. That's the mind you've been building through every section of this video. Let others chase applause. Let them scream for attention. You don't need the spotlight. You become the room. You unsettle without speaking. You conquer without noise. Because your mind, forged through Stoicism, sharpened by dark truth, is not built to be seen. It's built to be feared. Now listen closely. This wasn't just a motivational video. It was a door. And if it opens something inside you, don't stop here. This is just one piece of the system. Go deeper. Watch the other videos on this channel. They weren't made to entertain you. They were made to rewire you. From emotional control to the psychology of manipulation, from the war against comfort to the code of unshakable discipline. Stoic Wind isn't just a channel. It's a training ground for a new kind of mind. You want a mind that people can manipulate. Watch every video. You want to become a storm so terrifyingly focused that even chaos avoids you. Watch every video and become the weapon the world fears. Like this video if it shifted something inside you. Subscribe to Stoic Wind and turn on all notifications, because the next video may be the one that permanently changes how you see life. And before you go, pay his court in front. Let's see who's truly becoming untouchable.